Hi and welcome to Teens and Technology, Navigating Technology, Controlling Its Benefits, Preventing Addiction. My name is Louise Clark and I am so happy that you are here with me on this course. I'm super excited to share with you all the knowledge, wisdom, tips, tools and techniques that I have managed to implement into my life with teenagers to help me navigate the beast. I call technology the beast because I believe it is. We can't live with it and we can't live without it. It is the most miraculous, incredible invention, but it is the one thing that I think has caused parents more challenges than anything else ever has. And I'm sure you agree with me because you're here, and you wouldn't be here if you weren't struggling to navigate technology and tame the beast, as I call it. So parents often ask me, my teenager's 16 or 15, even 17, 18, is it too late? And it's never too late. And hopefully, regardless of what age your teenager is, you also are here because you realize there's more that you can do. And there is. As long as we have a position in our lives as parents to influence our teenagers, I believe we need to continue to influence them. So it's my goal to help you find ways to influence your teen. Because as you know, teenagers are hard to influence. The nature of them makes it very difficult for us to educate them, to control them. In fact, you're probably realizing the older they get, the less control you have of them. And that's a big piece of it, is knowing and learning when to control and when not to control, and if you have to, how to do it. So the course is set out in modules, and there are 3 modules. The first module is called Taming the Beast. The second module is navigation tools. And the third module is helping you see your role as shifting from monitor to mentor. When we are monitoring our kids, we are controlling them. When we monitor our teenagers' every move, they hate it. They despise it. They're at a time in their lives when they're trying to shed us as custodians of their childhood. And yet if we try to control them, overmanage them, micromanage them, tell them what to do, lists of shoulds, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that, and get off your screen, and why are you doing this? What happens? We sever the connection that we have with them. And when we sever that connection, there's a gap between us and them. And the wider that gap is, the less influence we have on them. So I always say, put the relationship first. So whatever you do with trying to implement some boundaries or limits or whatever you want to try and help you navigate and manage the beast, make sure that you do it in a way that your teenager finds palatable, in a way that they will listen to you. How do you do that? Well, in all the modules, there are units, and each unit covers a kind of separate part. And so when we put it all together, we will get to a point where hopefully you have got many, many more tools to navigate the challenge. But more than that, it really is about you and how you deliver the tools, tips and techniques that I share. And I make that very clear in this course. So technology is here to stay, and we have to find ways to live with it so that we can control it and it doesn't control us. But also knowing that the older our teenagers get, the less we can actually control them. So how can we get them to do what we want them to do, to be able to control the technology in their lives without controlling them? It's a really tricky thing. It's nuanced. It's a bit of a dance. And I share so much information with you in the course that when it all is put together, you will be in a very different position. You will be in a more empowered position to hopefully navigate this really, really difficult thing that we all have in our lives. And right at the beginning, I said, preventing addiction. We know just how addictive the whole thing is. I mean, all the games, all the social media channels, they're all geared up to addict us. I found out recently that Instagram actually hold the likes on a post to make you wonder whether people have seen it. So what happens if you're worried that people haven't seen it, or the kids are worried that they don't have enough likes? What do? They check it more. They go to it more. They become addicted to checking it to see how popular they are. So we have to realize that for much of it, our kids can't help themselves when they are drawn to their social media platforms, when they are drawn to video games, because they hook them in. Let's face it, it hooks us in. And that, I think, is probably one of the biggest pieces in all of this, is that we are very conditioned to believe that everything is our child's fault, that everything is our teenager's fault. It's what they're doing or not doing that is the problem. If you have done any of my work, you will realize that you cannot afford to blame your children any longer. You cannot blame your teenager for all of it, and least of all for the technology. We have to turn the finger of blame around and point it at ourselves. How have we allowed this situation to get to where it is? Because that really is the bottom line. We are the adults, we are the parents, and as such, we have the, dare I say, power, but we're in the position to lead, guide, and support our teenagers. So we are part of it. We co-create the reality that exists. You have co-created the digital family footprint that exists in your house. You have. I have. So when I look at my kids and they're lying on the couch again on their phones, or I say, please, you've been on your phones long enough, can you put your phone away? They put the phone down and they wander into the study and pick up an iPad, or they wander into they get their laptop out their backpacks and they turn to that. They don't even realize they're going from phone to iPad to laptop. So that pattern exists in my home because I have been a part of creating it. And as you will learn in this course, our habits, your digital habits, are what will influence your children the most. By and large, we role model our behaviors to our teenagers, and teenagers will copy our behavior, by and large. So if we want them to have better digital habits, we have to look at our own, and we have to look at the patterns that we've created in our homes to try and make a shift, because we really do kind of set the stage, and we can set the stage however we want. Now, granted, the addictive nature of screens comes into it, but more often than not, the patterns that exist in your home are as a result of the fact that, generally speaking, I speak for myself, and I think I'll probably be speaking for you, we are not terribly good at setting boundaries. And when it comes to technology, we have to be so good with our boundaries. We have to be so kick-ass good at holding the limits. We have to be on it. We have to notice that our child's been on their iPad for an hour and a half and it's time to get off it. If we don't notice, they won't. They're the teenagers. They're quite happy sitting on their screens for as long as they are. We know it's not good for them. Yet we find ourselves caught between a rock and a hard place. Because when they are on their screens, they're entertained. And when they're entertained, they're not chomping at the bit. They're not coming to us complaining of being bored. And so it's a bittersweet for us. We As much as they're on it, when they're on it, they're occupied. We want them to be occupied, but we don't want them to be occupied on the screens. But as long as they're on screens, and the longer they've been on screens, the less likely they are to occupy themselves doing anything else. Why would they? The virtual world is super exciting. It's addictive. Their friends are on it. They feel like they're connecting with friends, although we know that they're actually not. So it's this vicious circle. And we have to be the ones that role model the behavior, that move from being a monitor to a mentor. This is a really, really important piece of it. And in module 3, which is titled Monitor to Mentor, you will understand that as long as we keep monitoring our teenagers, they will never learn to self-monitor. So we have to know how much to monitor, when to pull back. So we have to look at the big picture. How is their health and well-being? Do they need less time on their screens? If so, how do we help them develop the skills to be able to monitor it for themselves? When you are able to shift from monitor to mentor, your teenager is more likely to listen to you, to respect you, and to understand that you get what it's like for them. We have to use empathy. It's really hard for these kids. So before I finish, I want to tell you about the bonuses that I have created in this course. They are really, really good. In particular, both of them are good. All of them are good. But I want to draw your attention to the one that I have created on the most common digital challenges that families face. Because in it, I highlight an example of what happens if we continue to monitor and don't give our children enough of a chance to self-monitor, because it's disastrous. When we continue to monitor and control, and then they get to being 18, and then they leave the house and they go to college, guess what? They have a free reign of their phones. If they've not developed the skills for themselves to be able to self-monitor, to be able to go to sleep without their device, then they're not going to thrive. They're not going to flourish. So that's a really important bonus that I've given you. That's real life situations that I discuss in a coaching context. They're awesome. The other super exciting bonus that I have shared with you here is a meditation package. Stay with me here. If you don't meditate and you're going, oh my goodness, is she really a woo-woo? She doesn't look like a woo-woo. She doesn't dress like a woo-woo. No, I'm not a woo-woo. And meditation is finally, hallelujah, come to a point in existence that mainstream is beginning to recognize the benefits of it. I've been meditating seriously for about 5 years now. The benefits that it has brought me as a mum are unbelievable. Meditating, I know this is what helps me. It helps me control my reactivity. It helps me show up in the face of whatever my teenagers throw at me with neutrality. It helps me not get triggered. How amazing is that, guys? Can you imagine if your teenager's on their screens, lounging on the couch, popcorn all over the floor, someone else in their bedroom with a bowl of cereal, and you're not triggered? It's huge, because when we're triggered, we can't parent from the space that we need to be parenting from. So meditation helps strengthen your awareness of your inner landscape, and your reactivity is part of your inner landscape. So I'm going to give you, in the bonuses, in this meditation package, there's a how to meditate. So if you've never meditated before, do not worry. I will show you, I will guide you. I will also go through more of the benefits that it has brought me and that I know it will bring you. And I'm including a 2-minute guided meditation, a 5-minute guided meditation, and a 10-minute guided meditation, so that you will be able to learn how to do it and reap the benefits of meditation for yourself, so that you will still get reactive, but you'll notice when you're reactive. You'll be able to nip it in the bud, to stop yourself saying things you don't mean, losing your crap all over your kids, yelling at them, shouting at them for being on their screens, and you just going, wah, what am I going to do? So this meditation piece is huge. So I'm going to stop there, but make sure that you catch those bonuses, and also in terms of the order in which you do the various modules in the course, there is an introductory video like this to each of the modules. So there's this video that you're getting now, introducing the whole package. Then there's a video for Module 1. Watch that before you do the PowerPoint presentations in Module 1. The same for Module 2, the same for Module 3, and I'm also going to be doing a wrap-up video. So make sure you watch them in that order, that you catch the actual video with me speaking, then you can do the PowerPoint presentations and follow the videos and the presentations in the order that they're presented. And I am really excited for you to get started. So I will see you in the introductory video for Module 1.